Dandi March, ponder over, chapoy, protest, procession, placard, nautanki, puddle, munch, miraculous. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, Bapuji, to the people of India, was also known as the Mahatma Gandhi or the Great Soul. He looked like a benign grandfather, someone who should be sitting on a chapoy in the village square under a shady banyan and a neem tree. Shady banyan or neem tree. Instead, here he was leading the long march to freedom. People of India were busy in the talking of nothing else but the march for days. The march of protesting against the salt tax. Now you may think, what was this salt tax? As per the salt tax, Indians had to pay a salt tax to the British government. We all needed salt every day. It was very basic need for the time. So even the poorest peasant had to pay the tax. Bapuji was protesting because he thought it was a very unfair tax. On the other hand, under this law, none could make their own salt. They had to buy it from the government. That was why Bapuji decided to defy this rule and make salt. It was going to be a long procession from village to village and town to town. Bhiku and Harya, the village boys, were very excited to see the procession when it would go through their village. Their father, who were teachers in a small school, also involved in this. Throughout the day, they would listen about the huge revolt. The day procession was to teach their village. They climbed on a tree, the highest one, to witness the non-violent protest for the unfair rule. It had been long times for both the boys hanging through the branches of the tree, but Bapuji was not there. Just to clear the picture, Bhiku asked Harya, "How will we know when Bapuji is coming? Will there be someone beating a drum, singing or holding the placards?" Harya was little mature. He said, "What do you think? This is a Nautanki show?" Bhiku again yawned and asked, "Any idea when they will be here?" What Harya had listened in his house, he told Bhiku that they planned to start early in this morning. Usually it was only a few hours walk from the Sabarmati ashram. Then it should be any time now. Just a few moments later, the eye-charming view started to approach. A grateful man at a brisk pace, clad in a short white khadi dhoti in a huge khadi shawl wrapped over his thin body, came towards the village. A wide stream-like crowd was surrounding Bapu, looked true sepoys of freedom. Harya was on the look. Bapuji's round grandfatherly face, round spectacles, the bald head, peace on the face. Overall, the personality was an eye-soothing one. Oh, so this is Bapuji. He was leading the procession, walking steadily, busy in talking to the supporters and blessing the youngers. People were pouring in from both sides of the roads. The crowd looked like a wide stream, as all were wearing white dhoti kurta or pajamas. With every nook and corner, people got attached to march. Men, women and children. Everyone was going to make salt. The procession was getting longer and longer. It seemed as if the whole of India was walking with them. There were people speaking in many languages they had never heard before. Many of them were clad in unfamiliar apparels. Few of the Britishers were also there to click the pictures with their metal boxes. Everyone in the march was singing, and even when they did not know the words, they hummed along. All the while, Bapuji chatting and smiling, waving and nodding marched on without showing any sign of tiredness. They crossed rivulets and fields, went through villages where the road was covered with petals and flowers in welcome, and over mud puddles and stony tracks. The day was at its height. The sun was overhead. It was now the hottest part of the day, so they all stopped at the village to rest. The village women came out with food for everyone, simple vegetable and chapatis, and everyone munched it deliciously. Two boys were now among the crowd. They looked around the people sitting nearby. Some were taking nap before they started to walk again when the sun went down, while others sat in the huddles talking. The boys went close to the one group of men to listen to them. One of them was inquiring about how long they have to walk ahead. Another man with a dark and sharp features calculated and said, "Well, Sabarmati is in Ahmedabad and Dandi is on the Bombay coastline. It is about 250 miles to walk." The boys were shocked now. Means the Bapuji, they would walk for 250 miles away. It is not a joke. What a miraculous person he is. The two persons continued their calculation and found that it would take at least 3 to 4 weeks if they walk morning to evening every day. Another man shook his head in admiration. Trust Bapuji to think of something like this. Do you realize that for all those days, the whole of the country will be watching and thinking about us? Nothing could help our cause more. He is uniting all India behind him by making salt. He is truly brilliant man. Then the two boys understood what a big task Bapuji was doing only for Indians. Just then, they remembered to go back to the home as Bapuji always said not to leave work, which is the first priority for one. The two boys went to the place where Gandhiji was fast asleep on a charpoy under a shade of the tree. They looked a hurried look at him and then began for the home. Dandi March or Salt Satyagraha was a 24 days non-violent campaign against British rulers who forced salt tax on everyone. It was begun with around 80 people, but as more as people joined in for the 390 kilometers. Long journey on foot. It grew into a strong force of 50,000 people. It shook Britishers and they had to remove this law. Wordpedia. Charpoy, caught. Defy, not to follow. Revolt, a fight against wrong. Nautanki, small drama. Munch, eat interestingly. Witness, see to remember. Sepoy, soldier. Priority, first responsibility. Protest, to make strong objection. Procession, long gathering of people. Placard, small cardboard flags for display. Puddle, mud pool. Miraculous, that can cause magic. Clad, wearing. Pouring in, joining